Hi everybody, welcome back to the journey of my YouTube channel. Today I'm trying another tag, which maybe will actually come out on a Tuesday and be part of Tag Tuesday. And today I'm doing the numbers tag, which I found from the channel Sterling Reads. The first question is, what was your first booktube video? My first video was just completely an experiment to see if I even wanted to do this and to just learn how to film it and how to edit it and stuff. So it is just about basically how much I like the Silmarillion, and it's my top January reads, I guess, is what the video is about. But spoilers, it's mostly about the Silmarillion. So I did end up having a lot of fun making it, and that was a big part of why I continued. So I can link it if anybody wants to laugh at how bad my first video was, but I'm fairly proud of it for a first video. Maybe I'll regret saying that in another few years, but all things considered, I think for a first video it was not as bad as I thought it might be, and I'm at least glad that I made it and got that first one out of the way. Question 2 is, how many books are you currently reading? I believe I'm currently reading 9. I feel like I should apologize to myself or someone for this. These are the physical books that I'm reading right now, and there's another nonfiction book that I'm also reading right now, plus on ebook. I have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows going. I have Wax and Wayne 2, Shadows of Self going, and I also have an original English light novel called Extension Squad going, written by one of my friends. So I'm enjoying all of these books a lot, and I am fairly on track, I think, with finishing most or all of them by the end of the month. So we'll see how that goes. I did technically finish reading 10 books in July, I think, and I thought I would never do that again, but maybe I will finish 8 or 9 this month. I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous to be reading that many books right now, but that's where I am. Question 3 is, what were the top 3 books you read last year? And you know, for a numbers tag, you'd think that I could get the number of something right. It's a pretty easy number, but I have 4 books here, because I combined The Children of Hurin and The Fall of Gondolin in my rankings last year because they're from the same universe, so it was basically like 2 books from the same series, so I counted that as one. And then The Way of Kings, and then Dune. At the time, I counted Dune as number 1. I am rethinking that now. I feel like maybe Hurin and Gondolin should have tied on the top spot there. Maybe Way of Kings should have been second and Dune should have been third. I don't know. These were all pretty amazing books. I had a really good reading year last year. My whole top 10 was like all stars. So yeah, all very impressive books. All very chunky, kind of weighty books, as you can see. I guess that says something about what I like to read. Question 4 is, how many books did you read last year? And I just had to look this up. I didn't remember off the top of my head. I read 61 books last year. At least that's how many books I wrote down that I had read in 2021. So I think I read 61. Question 5 is, how many books have you rated 5 stars this year? Which I don't have a really good answer for because I don't usually rate books officially when I finish them. I usually, when I finish a book, I tend to be either way too hard on it or way too happy about it, and then when I think about it later, I'm like, you know, my rating wasn't very accurate initially, so I don't typically rate books. But I would say I've had a more than average number of really, really good reads this year. I think I'm learning more about which books I really like to read and which books I really want to read, so I'm picking more books to read that I finish and am really satisfied with. Definitely still not all of them, but I would say a lot of books. I'm sure there have been at least 10 books this year that I would consider 5-star, but then I am pretty generous with my 5-star rating, so again, I just don't have a very accurate answer for that. Question 6 is, do you have a reading target for this year and are you on track? Yeah, my reading target for this year was 60 books, but last I checked, I was about 13 books ahead of where I needed to be on track for that goal. So I think I'm going to go for 75 at this point. maybe if I'm getting close and it's close to the end of the year, I'll just find some really short books so that I can hit 75. That was kind of the stretch goal I had in mind at the beginning of the year. Like, well, if 60 isn't enough, maybe I'll read 75. But yeah, it's looking like I could hit that unless I, get busy with other stuff and slow down my reading. But I thought this would be a slower reading month, and it kind of hasn't been so far. So we'll see. Question 7 is, how many pages is the book that you're reading right now? Which, given my earlier answer, I have a lot of different books to pick from. Let's see. Let's just pick one. Let's pick Wistress by Nadine Brandes. It's 451 pages, which if you've seen my perfect book tag video, you know that 450 is like my exact favorite page count for a book. That is the size I like it to be, where it feels big, but it's not hard to hold. So maybe that's why I gravitated toward this book to pick the page count. The next question is, how long are your videos? Well, we'll see how long this one turns out to be, but I usually try to keep them shorter. I like to keep my videos around the 10-minute range. I mentioned that in my newbie video that I like making videos that are easy to watch if you just have a few minutes to spare. So I like to keep them fairly short. I do have a few that are more like 20 minutes, but in general, I like to average my books around the 10-minute mark. Do you have a favorite number? I don't particularly have a favorite number. I used to say when I was a kid that 18 was my favorite number because that was how old I wanted to be. But I've been 18 already now, and there's no particular reason that I would want to be 18 again, so I'm not sure that really counts anymore, so I wouldn't necessarily say that I do. Okay, and the last question is, do you have a book on your shelves with a number in the title or on the cover? So I have both of those two options, and I kind of wanted to talk about both of them because I think this is a cool question. It's kind of interesting. So I have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, of course, which is the only book I could find on my shelf that actually had a number in the title. And then I also have A Time to Die by Nadine Brandes, which doesn't have a number in the title, but it does have these numbers on the cover, which is kind of cool because the premise of this story is a society where everybody has a clock that shows them how much longer they have to live, how many years, days, hours, minutes, seconds they have left until they die. So I think it was pretty cool to incorporate the main character's number at the beginning of the story here on the cover. I also realized that technically a whole lot of books have numbers on the cover because like book 1 is, you can't really see it on the video probably, but it says book 1 there. So any book that's in a series technically has a number on the cover somewhere. But I did think it was cool to think through, do I have any books with numbers in the title or that like work numbers into the cover design? So that was fun. And then tag people. I am going to tag Lindy and Books and Bookworm Adventure Girl. So if you guys feel like doing this tag, if you haven't done it already, I would love to see what you come up with. So yeah, if you decide to make this video, let me know and I'll be looking forward to watching it. Anyone else who makes videos can feel free to make a video of this too, and I would be happy to see that. And if you don't make videos, then let me know your answers to these questions in the comments. Thanks for journeying with me. Bye!